Hey, welcome back. Hope everybody is having a great, happy Easter. And thank you so much for joining me talking all things Masters of the Universe. Today, guys, I thought it'd be kind of fun to talk and discuss the latest pre-order coming very soon to the Mattel Creations line and that of Hurricane Hordak from the Origins line. Right there, as you can see right there. We'll take a look at the figure and the packaging. Basically, all his items he comes with, his different looks right there of Hurricane Hordak. We'll compare this version of Hurricane Hordak to his vintage 80s variant, thanks to Pixel Dan and Dark Horse Comics. And of course, have some fun. Now, of course, if you are new to my channel or first time watching, I hope you will subscribe afterwards. I hope you'll hit that like button, and thank you so much for doing that. Hit that notification bell when I upload new videos, and please share this video. Whoever has a passion and a love for collecting all things Masters of the Universe. Without further ado, let's talk and discuss Hurricane Hordak. And there he is right there. Of course, he's part of the coming out in the Mattel Creations right there. Coming out on April 23rd to all those who are a Club Grayskull member who will get early access. But on the next day, on April 24th, everyone is open to be able to pre-order him, all right, for their collection, all right, if you're not a Club Grayskull member, all right. So there he is, and he's going to be worth $25 plus shipping, handling, and stuff like that, all right, depending on the country you live at, all right. But he looks absolutely amazing, and I feel like this is a Hordak that we've been lacking as collectors, at least in my mind. I think this should have came out a long time ago for us collectors, but he's finally here because we've gotten so many great versions of Hordak over the years from Origins and Masters and the CGI line. We've gotten, of course, his vintage version from, his standard version of Origins to his Buzzsaw variant, the deluxe variant, to his even sketchbook series, to the Turtles of Grayskull line. I have no doubt at some point, in the future, we might get a version of him in the Thundercats crossover event as well. Masterverse as well has given us some great versions of him, to the two forms of the cartoon collection, and so forth. So I have no doubt, and I feel like at some point on the channel I have to do an ultimate, the Hordak, review of all the great versions of Hordak. And I feel like there's still more to come, down the road. I feel like the vintage collection from Masterverse will probably give us a form of Hordak as well for us collectors as well. So very cool here. Finally getting this classic vintage figure in our hands, right, coming out very soon. And I'm kind of curious too if it also will have that same action feature. In the back of the vintage Hordak or Hurricane Hordak, there's that knob that allows you to spin the weapon here and spin it. So I'm kind of curious if they actually put that feature in this version of Hordak. But he looks absolutely beautiful. Got the beautiful gold chest right there. A very cool like secondary head sculpt. But we'll talk about that here in a second. But it looks really badass. Looks like it's got that punk rocker feel to it. Of course, you got his spinner right there, or his weapon of choice right there, his cannon right there. Everything playing right there. Got the gray suit on, like the vintage version right there. Got the Horbat symbol. But there's more, looks of him right there. We'll get down it. And I do apologize, guys, for the shaky camera. I'm doing my best here. All right. I'm going to scroll down here if I can. Right there. Where are we at here? Hang on, guys. Now, as you can see here, they also included his vintage look, his head sculpt right here, which is absolutely beautiful. I love it. Looks so cool, so clean like that. I love the gold armor here. And this is a Hordak I never owned. In fact, I don't remember this version of Hordak. I remember Buzzsaw, and I remember his vintage version. But this is one of those variants that came out in 1986 from the original line here. And speaking of which, let's take a look at the 86 variant right here real fast, guys. So hang on. So here is the 86 variant right here. Came out in 1986. There he is. Got the same head sculpt right there. Beautiful right there. Playing all the right hits. A variety of really cool weapons right here of choice. The bat wing propeller. All right. The thunder ball mace right there, but very cool. And of course, there is his action call out right there. There's that spinner I talked about, which I do hope this version of Hordak will have. But very cool. There he is, front to back, side to side, from the vintage 86 line. All right. So playing all the right hits, and finally, like I said, I'm finally happy to getting this figure in the collections. Like I said, I figured I feel like this should have came out a long time ago. You know, I feel like once we got that Buzzsaw version of Hordak, I felt like this, like it would be just a matter of time, just like a month or so, a couple months, that we'll get his Hurricane form. But it's finally here, and I'm very happy, very excited for getting this, getting this first time in the collection. But he looks great. The detail is beautiful. Right there. I'm going to scroll down if I can, guys. All right, guys, here he is right there. Another action pose right there of Hordak right there with his bat wing propeller. Looks really good. Now, one thing I'm noticing with all the images down here from Mattel Creations so far, I'm still only seeing the frontal in front of Hordak and not the back of him. So I'm kind of curious now. I'm kind of worried now if they're going to have his action call out with Hordak here. If not, I feel like they're not going to do that. I feel like it's going to be one of those things where you can take the propeller or anything and you can spin it yourself. And, it spins on its own. So yeah, I don't know if that's the case or not. I hope not. I really hope they found a way to add that special feature of Hordak in the Origins line. All right. Move on to the next photo here, guys. All right. So there he is, hosting up a boulder here, which is pretty cool. I gotta say that gold armor is beautiful. It's got a very dark, rich shine to it. It looks gorgeous, and it works. It looks beautifully. And I'm curious, moving like with the other forms of Hordak we have in the collection from Origins, you can, basically, I'm sure it should work because it's Origins. It's all about plug and play. That you can use the Hordak from the 4-pack, from the Horde 4-pack variant, more of that Filmation style version of him. Now, of course, it's not, well, that version is a little bit more lighter tone to it. It would be kind of weird, but it still work. But you can still use it. That version of Hordak, you can use probably the cartoon collection version of Hordak to his, of course, his sketchbook series as well, and many more figures, coming soon. Possibly maybe his Turtles of Grayskull version as well, with this variant of Hordak here. So let me know in the channel too, guys, your thoughts and feelings about Hordak. Are you looking forward to getting him in your collection? Are you excited? Like, do you feel like me that this should have came out a long time ago? And I really feel like that should have been the case. But I'm so happy and glad it's finally here, and we're getting him for the vintage collectors here, for the vintage line. We still need to get that line complete. There's so many great figures out there that we still need from the vintage line in Origins, and this is one step closer to completing that. And Hurricane Hordak is a must, a absolute must for us collectors. All right, so hang on, guys. Now we're getting onto the box art itself. So this is the box art here. There you go. So there's the box art right there. Oops. So you can see, very, very similar. Oh, sorry about the shaky cam, guys. So very, very similar, like I talked about in the past couple of days when there's reviews. Has that same vibe and feel and look as figures like Cyclone and the Necroconda figure and the Horde Prime Trooper here. But he looks great right there. You can see the extra head sculpt right there. Ritual play here. He's got a nice glamour shot right there. The Ruthless Leader with the wicked whirling weapons right there, taking on He-Man as well. I like the extra. I love the extra head sculpt. I love it. I think that's so badass. I gotta get two of these to display both figures or both looks of Hordak in the line. I love that punk rock look to him. He looks so cool right there. Got the Horde symbol, a collector's edition right there. Very cool. All right, let's take a look at some more stuff here, guys. Hang on. Wow, look at this back art here. Look at this. That is so cool. Got the Horde, play set right there, or his, base of operations in the background. You got some very interesting, maybe that's Horde Prime right there, I don't know. It looks like a more of a female version of Hordak right there. And some unknown, because I can't see it very clearly, of some new maybe Horde figures coming soon. But you also have Dragstore. And of course you can see the Fright Zone right there. So another, like at least another vintage, figure that we still need in Origins. And I'm hoping this is a small Easter egg, of, maybe possibly in the future getting Dragstore in the Origins line, right? But if everybody knows in the comments, please let me know of the two Horde troopers right here, or Horde members right here, behind Hordak here. Who these guys are, I don't know. Or even this person right here. You know what this could be? This could be Despera, which is the darker variant of Adora. If you remember, there was a darker version in Classics of Adora. Not the Filmation version, but a more darker variant of Adora, who still became She-Ra. But this might be her. This might be an Easter egg of her, in Origins possibly. That'd be so cool, because it is She-Ra's 40th anniversary, and getting that, another form of Dora, like a 2-pack maybe in Origins of her normal Filmation form in her red, outfit, and maybe this form as well. That'd be kind of cool, and a very welcome surprise, and very happy surprise to getting that right there. But overall, a beautiful, look at the moon. It looks gorgeous. It looks, sinister. And I love the look of him. It looks, badass. Yes, absolutely. Once again, the art department at Mattel and Master Universe have absolutely nailed it. And I cannot wait to see this up close. All right, but it's so cool. Now, the one thing I'm not noticing here, you guys, but hang on. All right, so I'm seeing there's all the weapons, right? I saw all his items he comes with, the head sculpts right there. And he comes with a normal hand too. Look at that. So the cannon can be removable, which is nice. I like that. I like that, giving you that option. By the way, now I'm definitely gonna have to pick up 2 of these forms now, of this version of Hordak, to display both forms of him. One with his normal hands, and one with the cannon as well. But see all his, of course, his weapons here from this bat spinner right there. But the one thing I'm not seeing yet is the fact that we're not seeing the back of him. So I'm kind of curious now. I'm still going to pick him up no matter what. He looks awesome. But I don't know if they're going to have that same action feature of him. Maybe if they do it, I think there's a video here. Maybe we could try to play it here, guys. But maybe they did something similar to maybe Cyclone, maybe, is putting it on the waist or the belt of him and to connect to the arm and not the back of him. Because as you know, all Origins figures, you can pop it off from the waist and, and from the arms as well. Maybe they had to find a different route, a different way to show that action call out of Hurricane Hordak right here. But we'll take a look. Let's see. Maybe the video will maybe show us anything new here, guys. So hang on. What else we got here? Okay, we have the comic as well. So hang on. Let's just look at the comic. Sorry, guys. Let me take a look at there. We get a little shot of quiet. Hang on, guys. So here's, I believe this is the comic right here. Eye of the Storm here. Of course, you have Cyclone. That's Cyclone would be a perfect fit. Two, figures that use nature in a way as their weapon of choice of wind and stuff like that. But look at that. That looks so cool. Orko here. It looks like a okay, I thought he has like a breathing mask on or something like that, but very cool. All right. Now I'm going to pause this video real fast, guys. I'm going to see if I can upload the video that's on Mattel Creations right here. I'm not going to play no sound. If it does work, I'm not going to play any sound at all. We're going to take a look at the video here, and I'm hoping this video will show us, hopefully, the action feature of him, and hopefully it will have it of this figure here. So hang on, guys. So as you see, guys, I don't think it's going to have the action call out right here, because you can see the figure, the person right there, and it's just spinning the spinner by hand. So unfortunately, they could not find a way to bring that action call out feature from the vintage line to over to Origins, which is a little bit downer, but still fine. I do have some gripes about that. I wish they could have found a way to make it work, but still, at the end of the day, we're getting this iconic figure in the collection. So yes, absolutely, I'm definitely gonna be picking this up hopefully on day one on April 23rd. But let me know in the comments below. Now seeing this, do you are hesitant now, or are you still going to be picking him up for your collection? I'm trying to play the video one more time here, guys. So as you can see, there's a little spinner on the arm right there. So they moved the spinner, so it's on the arm. So it's a little spinner right there, if you can see right there, on the arm cannon right there to allow you to spin the spinner. So in a sense, it still works. It still has that action call out. It's not on the back anymore. So now I kind of take it back. So I'm happy that they found a way to bring that action call out to us in this Origins form of Hurricane Hordak right here. So it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right. But there you go, guys. There's a look at Hurricane Hordak right here. A must-have. I feel like I figured, like I said earlier in the beginning of the video, that we've been lacking. Like I figured that we should have gotten a long time ago, back when the vintage line was, coming in retail stores and stuff like that. Around the time where Buzzsaw, deluxe version of Hordak and every version of Hordak. So it was just a matter of time. But I'm still happy to get this figure is now coming out for us collectors and stuff like that. So let me know in the comments below your thoughts and feelings. And as I'm filming this, it's going to be out on April 23rd. Launches right there. There's a little time clock right there. He's going to be worth $25 plus shipping, depending on where you live, right, in the world, right there. You can have up to 3 if you wish for your collection. I'm definitely going to be picking up 2 for my collection. All right, to display him in both forms. That punk rocker head sculpt looks absolutely incredible. I love it. I think I like it more than his vintage look of the figure here. It looks really cool. In fact, I'm going to try to bring that one back really fast. Yeah, video here, guys. Hang on. Oh. Let me separate that. Come on, where you at? There you go. There's no one more. Yeah, nope. Hang on, guys. Sorry. This version right here. Sorry, guys. Sorry, buddy. So yeah, I love this version. I love this head sculpt. It looks so cool. All right, guys. I'll take the time now, of course, to thank my subscribers. Thank you so much for joining me, guys. It's been a lot of fun doing these talks and discussions about upcoming figures, new figures coming to the channel. So yeah, let me know. All right, of course, don't forget to hit the notification bell. Upload new videos. And tomorrow we'll be talking more Master Universe, more superstars. See, I might even go back to the CGI line. It's been a minute since we looked at some of the figures from the CGI line. But all things Master Universe. So I do hope you come back and join me for that. I do have some figures coming on it their way for unboxings. Part of Wave 24, which is the Visible Skeletor, Frosta, and Buzz-Off. All right, so very cool, and I do hope you join me for those. All right, so I hope everybody has a happy and fun Easter, and I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care, and have a good one, everybody.